Hi, I'm Sean Flynn. I'm 15 and a member of the Mindbreakers 4-H Club. I'd like to talk to you about 4-H and STEM. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but it's been a crazy week. It's been so busy, in fact, I've asked a friend of mine, Mini-Me, to help out. I hope you enjoy the presentation. Hi. You know when you're a kid, you're not quite sure what you want to be when you grow up? Well, I thought for a while, maybe I wanted to be a cowboy, or the next great performer, a baseball player, or even join the circus at some point. But then I realized I really enjoyed doing things like doing chemistry at the Liberty Science Center, learning about physics and aerodynamics at the Air and Space Museum, or even taking a trip to a nuclear power plant. All the things that I really enjoyed had something to do with STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and math. While Mini-Me was talking, I was reviewing the footage and saw that my cover was blown. So I'm really sorry about that, but I am busy this week. The last section was pretty embarrassing for me, but I hope you got a few laughs out of it. Now, let's move on to something that made a big difference in my life. When I was 7, my parents enrolled me in 4-H. I'm a part of Orange County, New York 4-H, which does a lot of really great programs. My first club was the Royal Artists, and here we are engineering our newspaper hats. I learned about livestock in the Dairy Explorers and Borrow a Goat programs. I made clothes in the sewing lab, and I've learned to cook by participating in Produced in New York over the years. In the fly tying program, we make flies for fly fishing. With my club, I've helped with action booths at fairs, performed in skits at International Night, where we've built a 10-foot tall puppet, a breakaway tree, and all acted like chickens and puffins. A big part of 4-H is community service, and over the years, our club has cleaned up a local wildlife refuge, worked in the Cornell Community Garden, made no-sew blankets for Project Linus, and baked pet treats for the SPCA. I also participate in public presentations each year and have learned a lot from them. As you can see, 4-H has learning opportunities for every age group. I've grown a lot through 4-H and experienced things I might not otherwise have tried. Hey, watch out, Mini-Me! Well, I guess he's done. As you can see, there's a lot of really cool things you can do in 4-H. Now let's talk a little bit about 4-H and STEM. There's a lot of great opportunities in 4-H to learn about STEM. One of my first projects was a mason jar lamp. I was amazed I could actually make a working household appliance. This project started my interest in circuits, motors, and electronics. As I learned more about how electricity works, I made more difficult projects, like an electronics breadboard, an Arduino Cicada tracker, a tent air conditioner, 3D LED cube, and an antenna for ham radio, which I'll talk more about later. Besides projects, another great 4-H STEM opportunity is at the club level. 4-H has clubs for almost every interest, and my current club, the Mindbreakers, is a robotics club. We also participate each year in the National Youth Science Experiment. One of my favorites was Maps and Apps, where we created a plan for a park and discovered how geospatial scientists use geographic information systems to plan and map out community projects. My county also has some terrific STEM programs. We have a STEM Junior and Teen Leaders Club and a great adult leader. Our group has lots of fun doing different projects, and we go on some really interesting field trips, like to our county's 911 center and IBM. Our county also holds an annual STEM fair and a really entertaining Rube Goldberg competition. This is the lamp that Mini-Me was talking about in the last section. It is the project that sparked my interest in electronics and amateur radio. It's getting a bit dark. I think I'm going to use it to find my way. I got my ham radio license when I was 11. I also did my public presentation that year all about ham radio. One of the really cool things you can do with ham radio is talk to satellites and even the International Space Station. And here is the antenna that I showed you before. This antenna is made out of a tape measure. With a phone app, it tells me when the satellite is overhead. I can point this at it and talk over my radio to a person through the satellite. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about 4-H's Rube Goldberg competition. This video is from my county's first year doing this event. Alright, is everyone ready?
Yes. Don't touch anything. Ooh, that was some power, that sound, baby. You can do it. Oh, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Oh, yeah. Woo! Watch your noses. Watch your noses. Oh, yeah!
I hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, the younger 4-Hers really liked it too. I think the Rube Goldberg competition is a great way to introduce them to STEM. This year's competition was a co-effort between me and my friend Sawyer. As you can see, he rolled the ball down the ramp, knocking the battery off the table, which fired the trebuchet, knocking the black cup of BBs into the red bucket, which turns on the motor, which flips the light switch, turning on the Jacob's ladder, igniting the paper, which lights the fuse, once the fuse burns down, it drops the weight, firing the cannon for a successful shot. Moving on from Rube Goldberg, one of the really cool things you can do with 4-H are field trips. One of these was to Stewart Air National Guard Base, where we got to see the C-5 Galaxy and the A-10 Warthog. After that, I knew I really wanted to do more with flying. So I took a ground school and earned my student pilot's license, which is kind of like your learner's permit for a plane. And I also joined the Civil Air Patrol. With the Civil Air Patrol, I get opportunities to go on O-flights or orientation flights. And in one of these, I was able to fly from one airport to another. And here are some pictures from that flight. Finally, I'd like to talk about how 4-H has got me started on robotics. Every year at State Fair, 4-H has a robotics competition for the people who are staying there. In this competition, we build robots in the style of the FLL, or First LEGO League competition, and complete goals on a field. After this, I really wanted to learn more about robotics and programming, so I also joined a VEX robotics team. The robot pictured is from our competition last year. This is the field that the VEX robots compete on. Also this year, with my club, the Mindbreakers, we participated in the 7th annual Hudson Valley First LEGO League tournament, where we were judged on project, core values, robot design, and our robot's performance on the field. We scored first in project and second overall and had a lot of fun doing it. Well, it's getting a bit stormy out here, so I better go in. 4-H STEM program has done a lot for me, and I hope I've sparked your interest in STEM. I had a lot of fun making this presentation, and I hope you've had a lot of fun watching it. Thanks so much.